Hello, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. First of all, it's been a little while since I posted. I went ahead and caught COVID.
You have COVID!
But anyway, it is finally time to talk about Heidi and Orville, the now co-chairs of Scentsy. They used to be the CEOs of Scentsy. Recently, if you've missed all of the announcements or any of the videos that I've done or any of the other creators, Scentsy is changing their compensation plan. They are changing the pricing of their products. They are changing the way they package their products together as a bundle and save. They are changing the rewards for party people, for the people who do the parties. You know how you get like,
sell this much and you get this much for free, blah, 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 horseshit.
That part. So anyway, they did announce this back in January. After they announced this in January, Heidi and Orville actually hosted the end of month call, which is not something that has been happening recently since Dan Orchard has taken the CEO position. So this was a big thing. Now there are over 300,000 consultants. We've covered this in other videos. In Scentsy, there were only a little over 3,000 people on this live stream.
Wow, that is very telling.
We're gonna go ahead and get the fuck into it, but first, we need the disclaimer.
Just up with my initials were slim sit that I can't miss alert. They got the crowd, I got the church. Open verse 2, come get.
All right, really quickly, if you're not familiar, Scentsy is a MLM, multi-level marketing company, network marketing company. Some would even refer to them as a pyramid scheme because of the pyramid-like structure of team building they encourage and somewhat require in order to make a livable wage. Now, their primary products of focus are scented products. The first thing that they were ever known for was the light bulb powered candle, I guess we could call it. The wickless candle. You plug it into the wall. It has a dish on top and a light bulb that warms the wax that you put in the dish, and it makes your house smell good and whatnot. And like I said, in January, they made the announcement that they're basically giving their consultants a pay cut. I made a whole video on that I will go ahead and link in the description. It's a long video, so I highly recommend watching it on 2x speed, but it does have all the information of what's happening, and I give a little bit of breakdown on everything because I was in Scentsy for about 4 years. So with all of that being said, let's finally get the fuck into it.
Hello, Scentsy family. How is everyone?
Look how much bigger my face looks than yours.
We're so happy to be with you on the end of the month.
It's been 3 years since we've done this, and the first 12 minutes we spent trying to get on
my computer, and it didn't work.
And yeah, so then we had to switch to the cell phone. So hello, hello, hello.
But if any of you go back on our page to the beginning of end of the month lives in the past, you will see that we had this problem before. We just forgot about it.
We're technically challenged, definitely.
Well, we are 55,
so we shouldn't even know how to do all this.
We're ahead of the curve being able to get on a live. Oh, that's kind of an ageist joke. I probably shouldn't do that.
You shouldn't.
Even
Stop now.
Yeah.
Because you're making fun of me.
No, I'm making fun of myself.
So welcome. We're excited to be back. You're gonna notice some changes in maybe the way we do this call compared to Dan, and that's not a comparison. He has his way and we have our way. So it might be a little different.
I need some context.
The reason that they handed the CEO seat over to Dan originally was because they did go on a mission trip for their faith. They are of the Mormon faith about 3 years ago because they just got back after their 3-year trip and they were in London for those 3 years. So Dan Orchard was taking care of things. When they got back, they announced that Dan Orchard is not leaving the CEO seat and he will be staying in the CEO seat while Heidi and Orville take the co-chair seats. So that's a little background on why they haven't hosted this specific call in 3 years. When I was in, they were the face. They were the only ones essentially that you would see doing anything on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, at conventions, all of those things. They were mom and dad. They were the face. It was always them.
Yeah. So some of you may be looking for things that we won't be able to deliver. And some of you may find some things that you weren't expecting that you're going to really like. But we just want to spend some time with you, share about what has happened in January, the good things that have happened in January, share some context about Scentsy. Many of you might be really meeting us for the first
That's
time.
what I was just thinking, is that there are probably a lot of you on this call that don't really know Heidi and Orville and Heidi. And so we hope that through a little bit through this call that you get to know us and our hearts.
And here's kind of an interesting thing about life that I've learned is it's really hard to please everybody, and trying is just a waste of time. So be yourself, but be the best version of yourself and improve every day. And you'll have enough people that love you, and those that don't, they have lots of people to love, and they can go find them if they have the capacity to love. Sometimes people just don't have the capacity to love, and all they can do is hate. So
That's some bullshit.
It feels so narcissistic of him to say the people that don't love you can go find somebody else to love, but maybe they don't have the capacity to love. If they don't love you, they must not have the capacity to love. Oh, I'm so sorry, Orville, that you have such a fragile ego that that's the way you think. Not everybody is everybody's cup of tea. Not everybody likes me, and that's good because I don't like everybody. We don't have to love you in order to be capable of love.
with them, you just bless and release.
Bless and release. I love that.
Yeah. After doing your best, what more can you do?
Which I might just share a story with you right here, right now. And I'm going to cry.
Here we go.
Oh, cry baby.
I know.
It's one of my favorite parts. She cannot hide her emotions.
It has to do with bless and release. And maybe I haven't done that fully. So, but before we left on our mission, and a little bit too, this tells a little bit why I haven't been on the calls a lot.
This woman cries at the drop of a hat. I've admitted on my YouTube channel in the past that I cry for every emotion. I cry when I'm happy. I cry when I'm pissed. I cry when I'm furious. I cry when I'm sad. I cry when I'm overwhelmed. I cry over everything. But you're not going to see me get on a live stream and just break down before I even start telling a story. If that is how I feel I'm going to react, I will not be getting on a live stream and telling that story. And that is just speaking from a professional standpoint. I just don't feel like this is the right time or place to be breaking down and telling the story she is about to tell that many of you have probably already heard. But if you haven't, let's hear it.
Oh, yeah.
Because before we left on our mission, somebody sent an anonymous letter to our home addressed to me, and very hateful, very, very rude, and obviously anonymous because they weren't gutsy enough or brave enough to say it to my face. But how they didn't like my wahoos on the end of month live, and I don't know.
They were rude about your mother?
Yeah, they even said stuff about my mother who was dead, and how she was annoying, or I don't even remember what the words were. I just remember that receiving that letter. And so bless and release. I bless and release whoever wrote that letter, and I invite you to get off this call if you're on the call. And if you don't like my wahoos, I invite you to leave.
Is this real life?
What the We really had to go back in time. We had to go on the Wayback Machine, and we had to listen to this letter that somebody sent to your house. Ma'am, I have no sympathy for that, because if you're somebody who is in any way, shape, or form putting any amount of your life out into the public eye, you have to expect that there are going to be people who don't like you and who are going to let you know they don't like you and why they don't like you. And if you can't professionally take that and throw it away in the trash where it belongs anyway and leave it there, then maybe we need to reevaluate your position in the company, your position as far as going live on Facebook and going on stage and consistently crying every single time. It gets old real quick.
So it is Scentsy. It is something that we started 20 years ago. We're very proud of it. And I can't even tell you how many lives have been blessed through Scentsy. And we receive letters.
And I think that's what keeps us going.
Yeah.
And it's what keeps the home office going.
You sell motherfucking candles, baby girl. All right? You sell scented wax. It should never be this serious. Ever, ever, ever. But you know, we have to sprinkle in the cult vibes because we wouldn't be an MLM without the cult vibes, the culture, if you will.
And we've got some really good things happening.
Yes. So let's talk about January.
So, first, one of the things that is really difficult, particularly in a momentum business. Scentsy's a momentum business. Direct selling in general is a momentum business. And belief about the potential opportunities that you will have or the future opportunities that you will have dictate a lot of what your feelings about your business are, about the business in general, about the sales channel in general. And during difficult times, it's easy to say, there's a problem with the channel, there's a problem with my company, there's a problem with this course that I'm pursuing. And, you know, while we admit that direct selling isn't for everybody, there is a very specific place that direct selling occupies in entrepreneurship.
But first of all, it doesn't belong in entrepreneurship. In my opinion, the only place that it would have, if it did belong in entrepreneurship, is to show you what the fuck not to do when you want to be an entrepreneur. MLMs are not the answer to becoming an entrepreneur or business owner ever. Also, your consultants are out here telling potential consultants that anybody can do this and anybody can sign up and be a hobbyist or make money. It's all what you put into the business, but anybody can do it. But you're sitting here telling them that that's not the case. They're still going to turn around the next day and say that anybody can do this. So why are we not fixing that, Orville? If you're really truly sitting here and telling your consultants on a fucking Facebook live stream that network marketing, which is also known as multi-level marketing, don't let them fool you, is not for everybody. Make it make sense.
In the business opportunity realm. And it is different, I think, than what a lot of people from the outside might think it to be. Or people who get into a direct selling company and then get disillusioned might think it to be. One of the fundamental parts of a direct selling company is the community that is created. That's one of the main reasons people will join and stay. Is because, yes, they're looking for extra income. Yes, they love the products and they want to share them with their friends. But if they don't find a community that they love and feel loved in, then they don't stay. And so that community is critically important, and momentum from a sales perspective will help that community.
Where are lines getting crossed? How is this not a pyramid scheme cult at this point? When you're telling people that nobody's going to stay if they can't find the community. You mean the culture? What are we doing? You are a candle business. In no way, shape, or form does that scream community building. And it shouldn't. That's creepy and a little weird.
And when momentum is against you, or when the winds are blowing against you, then it's really hard for that community to hold together because people start to point fingers and attack one another.
Okay, so let's move on with the good news. Are you ready?
January is there's a lot of
it's showing
seeds
momentum.
of momentum.
Yes,
right? There's some changes that are happening.
Okay. At leadership too. Maybe we're going to talk about it or record a video, the message that we gave everyone at leadership, because it's actually something that we used on the mission with the missionaries, and the mission took off. The momentum built, and the mission is on fire right now. And
the missionaries are happy and the work is productive. And so it's based really on principles that were introduced to us through the book, The Boys in the Boat. Now, if you've seen the movie,
you got to read the book. The book is better.
The book is where the philosophy is laid out.
They actually don't, in the movie, they actually don't even really expound on what we talked about. They say the word swing one time.
And swing is this thing that happens in rowing when the boat feels like it is taking off, it's carrying itself, where work or the effort and the fatigue kind of gives way to exaltation because all rowers in the boat are in such perfect unison.
Yes.
That the boat takes off. So we talked a little bit about that at Leadership, about how we can keep our mind in the boat, focused on what we're doing, and being in a championship boat requires championship effort. But the rewards of being in a championship boat are phenomenal because you have that community that you need so much, and your life goes in directions that brings you and those around you more and more joy. And if you're not in sync with others, it's really hard to get ahead, right? You're always fighting against somebody at some time for some reason. So eliminating that negativity, finding your people, getting in rhythm is what creates momentum. And we'll expound on that.
Learned a new word today.
They learned expound. They're going to expound upon everything and really expound upon how you can make your community more culture friendly.
Would you be interested in joining our cult?
We'll get that done this month.
And just, I guess, we invite you all to be a part of that boat that is going to row for gold. We invite you. So any who want to come along.
Because you're invited. And you're invited.
So we've talked about Scentsy's history a little bit, and Scentsy had a pretty, from the outside, like a crazy start. Like it seemed for people that weren't around those first few years that we launched and it was all sales and rainbows.
But it wasn't.
We grew very quickly.
We did.
Even though...
But it wasn't easy.
Yeah, we were tripping all over ourselves in doing so. There was one time I remember in 2005, we had just published our catalog, and we found out that all of the warmers that we had just published into the catalog wouldn't be available until January.
And not just like a few of them. We're saying every single warmer was not going to be available.
So consultants would go to a home party, they'd show the warmers, and they would say, they won't be available till January. Now this was in like October.
Yeah.
And what we ended up doing is we had a gift certificate. So consultants were essentially selling a gift certificate. But during that period of time, Scentsy grew like 4 or 5x in that catalog run. That means on average, every consultant added 5 people to our team, on average. That wasn't because the execution from the home office was spectacular.
No.
I mean, that was horrible execution.
I'm sure some of you here remember that year.
But that growth was because people believed that the future was going to be bright for them.
Maybe that's because people weren't getting loud about MLMs yet, and people were not aware of what these types of businesses were as much as they are now. It's obviously going to be harder to convince more people to join now than it was back then. One, because of the saturation. The saturation is there with Scentsy. I've gone over it multiple times. And because people are more aware of what they're getting themselves into. They have more consumer awareness around MLMs and how they should not be paying to join and then get paid to convince other people to join and so on and so forth. That is a red flag. And more people are aware of that. So of course, Scentsy's growth and any other MLM out there right now, their growth is going to be lower and lower. And we're seeing this happen with different MLMs like Body, like Rodan and Fields, who are flipping to affiliate models, who are getting rid of the team building aspect altogether, because guess what? They've run out of people to recruit. And that is what we are seeing happen here with Scentsy. It's not a matter of people not knowing about Scentsy anymore. It's too expensive, and they can get the same damn thing at Walmart, on Amazon, on Etsy for way less because there's no middleman or middle team, if you will.
That Scentsy had what it took to deliver exponential change in their life. And those that couldn't handle that disruption left, and those that could are the ones that a lot of new consultants say, well, they had it easy because now they are superstar directors with large teams.
And that wasn't the only time. We had another year, I think, where we launched. Is that the one you're talking about? Where we launched a new software and nothing worked?
2009.
Yeah. So we had another year. Yeah.
So we were growing really fast, and what was interesting is we'd do the math on the at the end of all the sales data, and on a big day, which was a few 100,000 in sales, at the end of the month, it would take us 24 hours, more than 24 hours, to get the data from our accounting software, from our point of sales software into the accounting software. And as we were looking at our growth, we realized that within 3 or 4 months, every day was going to be bigger than that. So it would take more than 24 hours to get 24 hours worth of data into our accounting software, and we knew that was going to break. So we had to launch a new software. And we had to do it quick. And sometimes when you do it quick, you don't do it right. And boy, did we not do it right. So we launched the software, and sales went into oblivion. They just were gone. We had no idea what people were ordering. We had money going into our account. We had no idea where it was coming from, where it was going.
Items got double shipped, triple shipped.
Consultants would call up, hey, I got this order.
What's the point of that story?
I don't know what the purpose of these stories are. What are they trying to do? Butter their consultants up and say,
We've had hard times before and we made it through.
These are completely different hard times. These are completely different circumstances. They shouldn't be comparing these things and just saying, we've made it out of hard times before. Oh, well, what the bro, this is a little different. You're in trouble. This isn't just oopsie, we messed up. This is numbers are way down because maybe it's time to switch things up.
For the third time, what do you want me to do with the product? At that time, we were growing so fast. Product was flowing in, and we weren't a big company at that time. 2009, let's see,
Can you remember back that far?
About 165 million in sales, about a third of the size we are now. And I remember spending in that catalog season, I think $7 or $8 million in air freight shipments, and double shipments, and paying overtime. And but during that period of time, we grew 400 or 500%.
Well, and wasn't that the year that we paid out like $7 million?
Yeah.
I mean, no profit whatsoever.
Yeah. So we spent all of our profit taking care of consultants. They'd call up and say, my order's not here. What was in it?
Yeah.
We just trusted it and we sent it out.
We also had another year.
They're basically just admitting that they had no idea what they were doing back then, and probably they still have no idea what the fuck they were doing now. They don't know how they're going to get out of this, but they're going to try their best and give y'all a pay cut to see if that works. And when it doesn't, you're going to flip to affiliate only model. I'm going to keep saying it because it's going to happen. This is what happens. So even though in just a few minutes he's going to say,
that's not what's happening, and we're playing chess, not checkers.
I'm calling it now, today, the day that I'm filming this, Wednesday, February 19th at 2:50 p.m. Mountain Time. Scentsy will be an affiliate only business model within the next year or two.
Where we had just hired on Mark Stastny.
Yeah, it was his first day at work.
It was his first day at work, and we got a notice that all of a certain kind of warmer that we carried at the time.
Yeah, every warmer that we had sold in our first 2.5 years.
Yes, were going to be recalled. Every single one.
So, hey, Mark, welcome to your job. Let's figure out this crisis.
How do we work through this? Yeah.
And we worked through it. Now, the reason we talk about these things is
growing is hard. Yes.
A lot of people think that a company is doing well when there aren't hiccups, when there aren't problems. The reality is, if you're not making a mistake here or there, you're not really trying hard enough.
Respectfully, shut the f*** up.
Actual business-minded people know that businesses have hiccups. This is more than a hiccup, sir.
If you stay within your comfort zone to where you can execute at 100%, you're not finding your edge.
I would say at that point you have no vision because
That's right.
you're not finding your edge. So,
and
the outside of the edge.
Improvement requires finding your edge.
Yeah.
It's in weightlifting. It's the same in any type of physical activity.
It's
the same in,
they say like fatigue your muscles. So you have to go outside the box to fatigue yourself.
Yeah. So. Now, this becomes particularly challenging if you are in a position, or if you're in the midst of everything. So like if you're in the jungle or in the forest, we'll say the forest because few of us live in jungles. If you're in the middle of the forest and you're surrounded by trees, it's very difficult to see the whole forest. The saying, you can't see the forest for the trees.
But if you really think about it, you are only seeing a little bit of the forest.
That's right.
So you're only seeing a small portion where you're standing.
Yeah.
Enough already!
What the f***, Heidi? Where are we going with that? First of all, we're not in the forest right now. Can we just give the people the information that they actually need? That's what they're here for. Not for your analogies and inspirational quotes and stories.
From the home office's perspective and from Heidi's and my perspective, because of our understanding of what all of your businesses are doing, who's succeeding, who's struggling, why those that are succeeding, why those that are struggling. We understand a lot about what's going on in your personal life, about the struggles you're dealing with. And a lot of people think that we might just be disconnected, but you could not be farther from the truth. We understand these things, but we also see things with a much broader perspective. And what we like to say is, Scentsy is always playing business chess.
Oh, I love this. Yeah.
We're seeing moves 5 or 6 moves out. Why? Is it because we're smarter than everybody else? No. It's because at the home office, and particularly as owners and stewards of the brand, we see a broader view. And because we see that broader view, we can look at moves 5 or 6 moves out and come backwards to decide what needs to happen now.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Listen to that section of the call if you are a Scentsy consultant. Please. They are playing business chess. You are the pawns, my friends.
Ouch! That's gonna hurt.
In my opinion, allegedly, from what I'm observing from other MLMs and this one, this is a move 5 moves ahead of turning into an affiliate company. This is the first move, right? They're going to lower the compensation, buy themselves a little bit more time, and then they're going to roll out the affiliate program. And that's what they're doing. They know they're doing this, but they're going to tell you that's not happening.
I think Stephen Covey talked about it's one of the 7 habits. Begin with the end in mind, and then you work backwards.
And if you think, every business needs to make adjustments or they're out of business. So sometimes we have to make quick decisions also, very quick.
Yeah, so in January, the rough stuff in January and then the good stuff. So we had to make a couple of changes that a lot of people are frustrated about, and then they kind of digest it, they understand it. And I think for the most part, everybody gets everything except maybe one change that we made, and they don't really understand that. So we'll probably clear that up a little bit.
Except maybe one little change, the part where you get a pay cut.
But just to let you know, we changed the activity requirement from 200 PRV to 250 PRV. And that's going to be a little bit of a stretch. Might be a big stretch for some people. But if we don't stretch, we don't grow.
Very true.
Touching on that PRV jump from 200 to 250. I want to explain that a little bit deeper. In order to keep your status as a Scentsy consultant to remain quote unquote active, you have to sell right now $200 in 1 month in a calendar year to remain active. If you have a team and you get a bonus from your team, you have to sell 250 to be active every 4 months. But in order to get that bonus, you have to actually sell 500 PRV. And I think they changed that as well. I'm not 100% sure. Again, I've been in the COVID depths of hell, but that is what that all means. Now, when we think about the 200 to 250, it doesn't seem like a big jump, but we have to remember that consultants have brought on people to their team as hobbyists. They told the consultant, you're only going to have to spend $200 once a year in one calendar month. And now they have to spend $250 once a year to remain a consultant. And that would only mean that they're probably just getting a small rebate on their product purchases, which in my opinion, it's not worth it. It's not worth it to have to put up with, when do I have to order? What do I have to order? Have I ordered in the last 4 months or the last 12 months? It's just too much for consultants to have to think about. And now they have to add another $50. And when I was in, it was only $150. And that was hard. That was tough to meet sometimes. So I can only imagine with it being $250, it's still going to be difficult for consultants to reach that and maintain their consultant status. And even more so if they have a team and they want to keep that team under them.
If you don't grow individually, then Scentsy doesn't grow as a whole. And if Scentsy doesn't grow as a whole, then we lose momentum. As we lose momentum, we lose community. As we lose community, the point of being in business and joining a business goes away. So we have to stretch you enough that you will find your edge and you will grow for you to actually enjoy your experience with Scentsy.
So every year inflation happens. And every year we don't make changes at Scentsy. We haven't made changes at Scentsy. And so I guess it's kind of we're catching up.
Yeah, there's always a catch-up year. I mean, think about it this way. In 100 years from now, a light bulb is going to cost $200.
Pardon? I hope not, but...
Right?
I hope not.
It'll adjust to
yes.
where a light bulb is $200. And if your requirement to be active at Scentsy was only to sell one light bulb, it wouldn't make sense. We wouldn't have a business, right? So there always has to be these adjustments. It started at $150 in 2004. Around 2014, as we were looking to renew again, we were going through our first dip. Renewal came with a stretching of the expectation. And because we stretched expectations, one of the contributing factors to our renewal in 2014, 15, that went on and that prepared us to take advantage of the opportunities that came through COVID. After COVID, we're in another dip. And we looked at it and we said, it is time to make this adjustment again. It's been about a decade. So I hope you can understand that one.
Okay, the next one.
A little bit more difficult.
Yeah.
So we changed the policy that it was always, when you start, you get 20% commission. And when you reach $1,000 cumulatively in sales, then your commission would go to 25%. And we looked at the challenges that has caused for the organization as a whole. The attitudes between sponsors and new consultants, team leaders and the members of their team, how people are motivated, how people are stretching, and there were a few things that we could do. We looked at different options.
Well, and one of them, which we've done in the past when we've needed to make a change or a course correction, we have raised prices. And that was on the board. That was one of the ways that we could have made that course correction, is by raising prices.
Oh, but maybe you've done that enough already to make sure that you can pay all of the middlemen, including consultant support, which is hourly employees at home office, warehouse people, and then of course your higher up consultants that get all that money that you claim is out there. The other consultants that get the little bit of change, that money still is going out. So you already have raised the prices so much on these products that you really can't afford to raise the prices anymore. So now it's going to come down to this.
Another thing we could have done is gone back to a cancellation policy that is, every 4 months you have to be active. And this is one of those things where it's really hard to understand this move. And I think a lot of you are struggling with why we had to make this move. We didn't have to make it, why we chose to make this move. I think in 4 or 5 moves in a few months ago, a few business chess moves away, you'll come back and say, oh, I get it. Now, if we explain to you all 5 of those moves, there are opponents that will then make an adjustment, and then that winning strategy no longer is a winning strategy because you're disclosing your hand, you're disclosing your moves. So we're not going to explain to you all of the iterations of the future that we think are going to happen, but
We don't want to let anybody know your chess moves, right? Especially not your pawns. Scentsy consultants, this is your warning. What came for body consultants and Rodan and Fields and any of the other MLMs that have switched over to not make bonuses on your teams anymore, that's what's happening here. This is how it started.
We've been doing this for a while. We've been
20
playing
years?
business chess for a while, and we've got a pretty good record. If you can't trust our ability to look into the future and see what's coming and make adjustments ahead of time, and those adjustments being made not to benefit us two, but to benefit consultants and their businesses, then either you're not paying attention, you don't know history, or you're just choosing not to trust us, which is okay. You don't have to trust us, but I don't think we've done anything that gives you reason not to trust us if you look back at what we've done over the last 20 years. And I know
our track record,
And the worst person, the person that you should trust least is the one that says you can trust me. I get that. But, let our actions speak. Give it some time if you're really struggling with this. More adjustments can be made. The point of this whole thing is there are principles at play, and these principles are things that have guided Scentsy from the beginning, and they always will. Should we go about? Yeah.
Sure.
There's a couple of principles that are super important.
The first principle that I can think of is the huge one behind Scentsy, contribute more than you take.
It is a motto.
Contribute more than you take, but we're taking a little bit away from you right now. But contribute more than you take. What the fuck are we doing?
But here's the thing about it. Contribute more than you take is an internal motivation. It's about, what do I need to contribute to the community that supports me, more than what am I entitled to from the community that supports me?
Sir, that's not it. This is their job. They are working for a paycheck, essentially. They're not doing this for fun. They signed on essentially for the paycheck. And if they're still there, they're trying to make a paycheck. They don't want to give to you more than you're already taking from them.
Which is kind of something else that I know has been said many times, but we leave people, we leave things, places better than when we found them. Yeah.
Contributing more to you than we take from you is our business, right? That's up to us to make that math or do that math in our head and make sure that we are contributing more to your life than we are taking from it.
I'm sorry, I'm missing something here.
What math is that though? Because where in the math book does it say that 20% is more than 25%? You're taking away from them their measly income that they hardly were getting anyway.
There are times where we may make a decision that we think is going to be okay, and we realize it's not. And we have actually harmed people by the decision we've made. What do? Yeah. We correct it so that we can stay positive in that bank account, right? That emotional bank account where we've contributed more than we take. We have to be convinced in our own hearts that we've done more for you than we've taken from you. Otherwise, we have a lot of work to do. Yep. That's a mindset. Yep. And that's a mindset we've always had.
Somebody saying, arrows out, arrows out. A lot of you that are new might not know arrows out, but it is exactly contribute more than you take goes right along with arrows out.
Yes.
Oh my God. There were a lot of people on this live stream asking questions, and they were being accused to have their arrows in. And something also that's worth mentioning in the Mormon faith that from what I understand, I am not Mormon. I have never been Mormon. However, I have an interest in the Mormon faith for whatever reason. So I read about it. I watch documentaries about it and all that. But from what I understand, the giving more than they take is from that Mormon mentality. And I'm sure it comes from a lot of other faiths as well. But they want to give more than they take so that they can get to, I guess, their heaven is what we would refer to it as. I have a hard time separating the selfishness of giving more than you take from the actual caring and empathy and sympathy of giving more than you take. And I lean for them. I feel like it's more of a selfish, I need to give more than I take so that I can get to heaven, so that I can get to the afterlife and live this amazing, beautiful life. And the reason I believe that is because I have witnessed them for years be so heavily involved in their faith and crossing their faith lines and their business lines very often, even though some people may not know it. It's little things that they throw into the Scentsy business that are coming from the Mormon faith. It's very interesting to look into, but I think that just speaks to who people are based on how they were raised and what faith they were raised in. That's, of course, going to intertwine in their lives, but I don't like how it feels when faith-based things are intertwined in businesses, and that's a lot what Scentsy and a lot of other MLMs do. Anyway, let's get back into it, shall we?
Now, an arrows in approach is,
What about me?
you said to contribute more you take. You're taking from me. I'm not getting what I'm entitled to. Right? That right there is a kryptonite nugget for the Scentsy Spirit community, or the community of Scentsy Spirit.
No, it's not. It's actually what they're entitled to. They should be getting a livable wage for the amount of time that these people are putting into your business while they are thinking they're building their own business. They are entitled to something. This is horse shit. Excuse me. I have no Scentsy Spirit. I left mine in 2018.
That was kind of awkward way of saying
Tonight, but yeah,
it.
I love it.
If we get to the point where it's about us, whether it's we're talking Heidi and Orville or whether we're talking you brand new consultant, then the thing that attracts people to Scentsy goes away. I mean, the products are great. We love our products. We'll talk about some of them.
Are we?
They're coming. Yeah.
That's all cool. Okay.
But that's not what people come to Scentsy for.
What?
People come to Scentsy because there is a community that is striving to give more to me than it takes from me.
No, they come to Scentsy to buy the product, and they should be coming to Scentsy to buy the products. They shouldn't be coming because of the community. And if that's why they're coming to your business, that is cult-like behavior. Go ahead and look up the Bite model. It is cringy and creepy to hear him say this.
That's a wonderful place to be. And people that find that reciprocal respect and love, they're upset when...
It makes me think... Sorry, go
No,
ahead.
you go. I'm just saying that people that find that, they're Scentsy lifers. Whether they sell or not, they still want to be part of a community because that community is one that supports and loves them.
You definitely started a cult.
And they can trust if I give my best, there's going to be so many people that are trying to one-up me in goodness, I'll be taken care of.
Because they're drinking the purple Kool-Aid. That is something that Scentsy consultants used to say, at least. I used to say, I drink the purple Kool-Aid. I drink the purple Kool-Aid. And I thought it was so fucking cool. Now I hear it.
It makes me think of the quote, I'm going to say it wrong, but you like help others get where they want to go first, and then you'll go right along with them. So it is all about helping others and lifting others.
This is just a core principle that has guided Scentsy from the very beginning. Now, when we lose that principle, let me put it this way. If we see that a core principle is, and people are drifting from a core Scentsy principle and we don't make corrective action, then that principle becomes meaningless. Right?
Yeah. And I have to say I am proud of all of you in the Scentsy community and how you do lift each other up and help each other. I know several people.
Oh, for f***'s sake!
In Scentsy right now.
This should not be happening. Have somebody else host your calls for you. Keep Dan on the calls. Have it just be Orville. If we can't get through a whole call without Heidi crying, enough is enough. This is a business, but we're treating it like therapy. This is not healthy for Heidi or anybody having to sit through this.
Who are struggling, who might even have terminal illnesses, and I've seen you all. step up and love them and help them. So
we hear all the time that I went through a really rough patch, and it was my Scentsy family, my sponsor, my teamies, my
sent me
my
dinner,
director
came and sat by me in the hospital.
That's who got me
called
through.
Me every day.
Right? It's because we're trying to create an environment where we love one another. We mourn with those who are mourning. We cheer on those who are doing well. But we make sure that we're carrying our own weight.
Could you imagine having a job that has to then become your whole life? You have to mourn with these people. You have to be there for these people. You have to celebrate with these people. You have to be there for all of their milestones. It just shouldn't be this level of involvement in any kind of business venture, especially where you are signing up to sell scented products. This is the,
Now, with that principle in mind, well, there's another principle that I picked up.
You said 3, and we've only done 1, so.
Maybe we'll only get to 2, but
okay.
The second one is, it's kind of a deep concept, and Heidi, if I'm going too deep, just say, I don't even understand that.
That's what she said. Or he said.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I'm just a child. It has to happen. We've made it through. Hopefully there's no more of those moments.
No, what I'm saying is, like, when someone does something that benefits Scentsy, they derive a right to what Scentsy produces, proportional to their contribution. If you contribute a lot to Scentsy, you have a natural right to a lot from Scentsy. If you contribute a little to Scentsy, you have the natural right to get a little bit back from Scentsy.
Here's the thing, Orville. What would tell you how much or how little someone is contributing to Scentsy? Is it how much money they're spending on Scentsy? Because I've seen those people get real buddy-buddy with Heidi and Orville. Is it how much teamies they're bringing on to Scentsy? Because I've seen the people with a lot of teamies be buddy-buddy with Heidi and Orville and get more than they give, maybe we can say. Is it the people who sit on their laptop and brainstorm and try to figure out ways to make this MLM work for them financially, but have no idea what to do or where to start because they were lied to? Is it those people who are giving more than they take? Are they contributing enough? How do you know what they are contributing? The amount of time that they are contributing, I am speaking from experience, is enough to make more than your top seller. The people at the bottom will always put in more time if they believe that they can get to the top, but the odds of them getting to the top now that Scentsy is so saturated and has been around since 2004 recruiting people, so slim. But nobody tells them that, so they're going to sit at their laptop and brainstorm and try to think about how to make this work for them, but you're telling them that they're not contributing enough, so they're not going to get any more than 20%.
If you take from Scentsy and you harm others because you defame or lie about, or whatever the case may be, then Scentsy has an obligation to make you stop. And, well, I don't want to go there.
No, let's talk about it.
What he's referring to is the people who are speaking out in Facebook group, and they are butthurt about that because people are obviously not happy. Orville, you're taking money from them. You were giving them more, and now you're taking more. So why wouldn't they be pissed if you're preaching to give more than you take? Why are they not allowed to ask questions and then be told that they are terminated because they asked a question that you thought was defamatory? It's a fucking question about their pay. It's giving LuLaRoe. I was also in LuLaRoe right when everything was starting, so I have a little bit of experience of what that was like, and it was like this.
Just keeping it positive. If you do something that contributes to Scentsy, you deserve a right that's proportional to that. Our job at the home office, Heidi and my primary job, is to distribute what Scentsy produces in a way that those who have contributed are fairly compensated, and that there aren't those who get more than what they have contributed. Does that make sense? if you've given a lot to Scentsy, Scentsy owes you a lot. If you haven't given much, if you've given a little to Scentsy, Scentsy owes you a little.
You're forgetting the word that you want to put in there. If you give a lot of money to Scentsy, Scentsy will give you a lot. If you give a little money to Scentsy, Scentsy will give you a little. From what I've seen, from what I have experienced, and in my opinion, they judge how much you give to Scentsy by how much money you're giving them.
The better Heidi and I are, and then by extension, Dan and the rest of the team, at making sure that those who are getting from Scentsy is in line with what they have a natural right to, then Scentsy will flourish. If we give to one group more than what they are entitled to, based upon or what their natural right is, then somebody's going to be without. So we're always in a balancing situation. How do we protect the rights of those who give a lot and make sure they get their fair share? And how do we encourage those who aren't giving much to give more so that they can derive more benefit? So that's always a puzzle piece that we're playing. That's a principle that guides us. I might have to decode that some other time because that's pretty heavy stuff.
Very heavy. We have some people that are like, I don't want to hear this. I want to see what I came to see.
Let me give you one example on that.
Okay.
One of the challenges that Scentsy people experience, if you're a customer on here for the first time, or if you are a long-time Scentsy consultant, there are times when we have a limited time offering, right? And let's say that you have been a solid consultant your entire year. You've put in mini parties. You've brought in lots of hosts. You're sponsoring people. You're helping those people. And here comes an LTO that everybody wants. And you have your customers that you've been supporting all year long.
Wait, this does really happen.
Yes.
This really happens.
You have customers you're supporting all year long. And when the LTO comes out, you don't get to support your customers that have been supporting you because we run out too soon. Why? There is a very large group of Scentsy consultants who don't do anything until there is a gimme product. An LTO that is so compelling, it's easy to sell. That's the only time they engage. Now, we're going to sell out no matter what. It has nothing to do with our property rights here. Nothing to do with what is going to come into our pocket or what's going to make a difference in the home office. But those consultants who have worked day in and day out and have taken care of their teams, done everything we've asked for them, they're the ones that are harmed when people that haven't done much come in and get that LTO and it sells out. So how do we balance that? Do we say, unless you're active, you can't participate in LTOs? Right? Now,
no, you put a fucking limit on it, Orville. This is a great example of what the who gave this man a business. You only have 4 to give out to your customers?
I only have 4. Who wants them?
You're guaranteed that 4? It's fair. Why the would you even bring up not letting inactive consultants buy an LTO or purchase LTOs? That is a red flag that he even thought of that. And that is so manipulative. Now that I think about it, you're sitting here saying, well, we could not offer you the LTOs, but we're going to give you a pay cut instead. And you'll still have access to all the LTOs that you want. Where? In Honolulu. What is this man doing?
My whole point in bringing this up, and then we decided not to do that. That's some background as to why we might have done what we did, right?
Not announcing that.
What we're trying to do is encourage those that is stretching those that to contribute more so that we can give more, and protecting those that are already giving a lot. And that's just one example as to something that we needed to balance by these changes.
Okay. A couple things that I saw as things were scrolling.
As I was just talking and talking and talking.
But it was good. And I've seen a lot of people like, come on, get off your soapbox.
Really? I'm so sorry.
This is how we used to do end of month lives. Is we would come on here, we would congratulate all of those that promoted, who earned the trips, woohoo, and call out people's names. That's how we did it. And like I said earlier at the beginning, Dan and everybody he invited on maybe did it a little differently. And so this is gonna feel different for sure.
Well, and if you're going to build a culture,
yes,
you have to teach principles on how to build a culture.
Yes. And you have to hear the stories.
If you're going to build a culture around your scented wax business, you have to hear the stories about how to do it. That shouldn't be a thing. We are forming smaller cults, and your big cult This is a mess. This should be about scented wax, not about the community and the culture.
Wouldn't you not be how do you say that? If you didn't know the Scentsy stories, you belong to this company, you need to know the stories that have happened throughout the years, and so because you are part of the Scentsy family, so
it's not just about selling products.
It's not. It's not.
If it was, then I wouldn't be here.
Well, I wouldn't either. And who here wouldn't say, and maybe they would, but that you have grown or have had that personal development through Scentsy, that you are different today than you were yesterday.
And hopefully better.
Through Scentsy, and hopefully it is in that improvement direction.
So Heidi, I talked a lot about some things that we changed. I don't know if we covered it well enough, but I hope you got some principles as to why we do things. Let's talk about what happened good in January, because there was a lot that happened, and these are seeds of a momentum shift. They are real, and we're very excited about 2025.
Okay, two things though that we're scrolling through here that I wanted to address. And so we are seeing, we're watching here as sometimes it goes so fast we can't comment, but we want the weighted buddy back. Is it coming back?
I think that there was enough excitement about the weighted buddy that we are not going to leave you weighted buddyless for long.
Yes. So
we do have to remind you, you gotta not leave it in the microwave for a very long period of time.
Okay, and somebody said FedEx sucks.
Like a minute in the microwave is all you need.
Yeah, do not turn it on and leave it in there. It'll burn like anything else. I remember in college burning those corn things, and it would smell like popcorn. Yeah, burnt corn forever. So.
Okay, and FedEx. A few of you were like, FedEx sucks. Ooh, we hate FedEx. They're doing their best.
They are. They're trying. The only other option really is UPS, and they dumped us during COVID. So they're the ones that left us at our most time of need. When we needed our packages shipped, they dumped us.
Wait a minute, what?
I need more information on that debacle. If anybody has the UPS story, I'd love to include it in a video, even if it's just like a palate cleanser type thing at the end. I want to know what happened with UPS and Scentsy. Why were they dumped by UPS?
They do have a new CEO now. I think they might have seen some.
We've got signs that they are looking to get some business back.
Yes.
So they thought they were going in a different direction.
Yes.
I think that direction didn't work for them. So now they're looking to get back some old customers. But we have to be grateful for FedEx.
Hopefully that gives you a glimmer.
As hard as it is, it's nice that you don't have to drive to Meridian or South Carolina to pick up your products.
Okay, and they're saying weighted buddy other than Hamish.
Well, we'll have to see on that.
I don't know, yeah.
Okay, so January. Some seeds of improvement.
Yeah, that show that we're starting down a good path of momentum. January was the second best recruiting month in the last 15 months. And it was a January. January is always a not so good month. So, woohoo!
And
awesome! Everyone who recruited, way to go!
Mexico had its second best recruiting month ever.
Ooh, yeah.
For a January, ahead of a transition month, which a lot of people wait for a transition month. And we'll talk about the transition month kit coming up in a second.
Yeah. So, way to go. That's awesome.
We don't have today's numbers in yet, but everything was projecting.
January revenue will finish up 21% from January 2019.
Now, why do we use 2019?
Why
because
do you think? I know
2020 was COVID. It was crazy times, right?
They want to erase from 2020 to 2024 because it was so bad, in my opinion. That's, to me, why I see them using the 2019 numbers. Okay, yeah, you had a great surge in 2020 because everybody was home, but those numbers still happened. You can't just erase them.
We kind of have to not even look at those 2 years. They kind of were an anomaly.
I don't think it works like that.
And so...
And then coming down.
Yeah, and then coming down, yeah.
So a lot of people that have only started in 2020 and on, their reality was this COVID reality that was interesting. One, Scentsy was able to operate when a lot of companies couldn't. Two, we had a consumable product that was a nesting product and everyone was stuck in their home. 3, there was government money flowing around to help people that were stuck at home. 4, they weren't working, so they could become a Scentsy consultant and make a little extra money while they were at home. There were all kinds of factors that really pushed sales up during COVID. Then afterwards, we've been coming back down to a reality. And our reality is about what it was 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20.
Yep.
Slight improvements every year, but a very stable, healthy growth. And
Which
I think
was what, like 400 and something?
between 450 and 500 million,
Yeah.
with the opportunity to take advantage of something that might come up. So we're right in that sweet spot right now, looking for growth in 2015. We have lots of signs. Particularly, we're ahead of 2019 by quite a ways in recruiting and in sales this month. We'll finish just over about $37 million in sales for the month.
Which will match the best ever before 2020 January.
Yeah, pre-COVID January.
Pre-COVID January.
So it's the best January we've had without the asterisks.
Woohoo!
And I guess the reason we're talking about this and why we're going back to pre-COVID days is whether you are winning or losing, a lot of times has to do with what you are comparing yourself against. If you're comparing yourself to others, you're going to find somebody that does things so well, you're going to feel like a loser all the time. You can't compare yourself to other people, but you can compare yourself to your past self. And as Scentsy, as a company, comparing ourselves to the past is very powerful, particularly if you can get out all the noise of an irrational and temporary black swan event like COVID. So we have a lot going for us compared to the last time we were in a normal environment. And there's a lot of reasons to be really excited about what's happening instead of, oh no, the world is falling because this company just went affiliate and that company went out of business and this company is going down and the whole channel's going to die. No, it's not. It's not direct selling companies going out of business. It's businesses going out of business. If you owned a restaurant and be, oh man, that neighbor lost his restaurant, that company went out of business, this restaurant closed, maybe restaurants are going to go away.
I'm going to say something here too, maybe. People in direct selling are changing to affiliate because their consultants' behavior has changed.
No, Heidi, that's not why. Maybe their behavior has changed because they have run out of people to recruit. They have no more people to recruit, so they can't behave in a way that is going to recruit the people that aren't there to recruit. They have to figure out how to sell the product now. And they can't because they recruited all of the people that they know that they're supposed to sell the product to. And it's a vicious cycle, a circle of life in the MLM. It is not the behavior. It is the number of people. They're gone. You have no more people to recruit.
That's why. So I think that's something that you all need to remember. You are independent consultants. You own your own business. You have to remember the behaviors that got you to where, each advancement.
And those of you who are just starting have to say, I really want this to bless my life. What do I have to do for it to bless my life? What activities do I have to engage in? And if the only activity that you are relying on to change your future is to post and pray that somebody reads your post, that might have worked when
during COVID
everyone was online and there were very few people posting. But now when few people are online and everybody's posting the same thing, that dog don't hunt anymore, or not as much. So you have to say, what in this environment must I do if I want to change my future?
I remember, I won't say her name on here, but I remember one time talking to a consultant and because lots of other people were saying, oh, my business is down. And she saying, I looked at all through the years and
like 15 plus?
Yeah, 15 plus years. She's been with us for a very long time. My business isn't down. And so
didn't she say, I've never been down.
I've never been down.
I've never had a dip.
And how long were the other consultants in for, though? This person was in for 15 plus years. They got in early, so of course their business was never down. They got the teamies, they got the customers, they got all of these things that nobody has access to now because they're already taken. Are they supposed to steal? Is the behavior that you're looking for stealing from other consultants? Is that what we want? We want to take more than we give now, right?
And so it is how your behaviors.
Yeah.
So
now that's not,
but it's also on us. It is on what we put out, our product that we put out, and we do have our share in it also. So I'm not saying it's all on you.
And there's wins in our face and there's wins in our back. I mean, when millennials who had extreme nostalgia for the days when their parents bought a VHS tape of a Disney movie that came out of the vault, and now they're adults with children. And Disney's coming out with remakes of those movies, and we can come with product that will align with good movies, one right after the other. That's wind at your back. We haven't had that for a while, right? One, we don't have the alignment of a demographic with a nostalgia with.
But let's address the fact that these consultants will get even less commission from the licensed products of the Disney movies that come out because of the licensing agreement where you have to pay out Disney now. So now you're not only having to worry about your home office, your warehouse people, your consultant support, your consultants. You now are factoring in Disney, Warner Brothers, and whoever else. So you're taking, again, away from your consultant more than you're giving.
Something else going well. So we can do better and the wind can shift, but even through all the different iterations of the wind, there are consultants who have never had a dip.
Yes.
Because they keep their mind in their boat, they keep focusing.
Mindset. It is your mindset.
And of course, we're not talking about those of you who have life-altering family situations, medical situations, and those situations we want to support you through, and that's when your Scentsy family love comes in to give you support until you get back on your feet or you're back in a better situation.
And it is mindset too. I will say that. But back to that, we are a team, Scentsy team, and so it takes all of us. It takes our side of Scentsy to come out with the right products and to help form this community. But then it also takes you. We need you. We need you.
We need our street team. I don't know if anybody even past millennial age. I don't even know if millennials know this term, but I was such a Band-Aid, if you know, Almost Famous, that I would be part of street teams for like earlier artists and whatnot. And you would sometimes, it would be like a fan club type thing, and you would have to pay a fee, and then you would go out and like talk about the band. You're supposed to talk about the band and let people know what they are, where they're playing, and they should come and see them and whatnot. That's what this feels like. She's like, be our street team. Let people know about us. We need you to promote the products so that we don't have to pay for marketing.
And what happens, I think, is when we start looking at what the challenges are, what the opportunities are, and what our principles are, we realize it's clear what needs to change in order to get us all on the same page and moving in the right direction and creating more and more opportunities for each of you. So that's what we're about.
Yep.
And some of you are going to love it. Some of you are going to hate it. That's the nature of
Scentsy's
that's
not
the nature
for
of the
everyone.
business.
It's not for everyone. So
again, tell that to your consultants, Heidi.
We are here committed to providing an industry-leading, family-friendly business opportunity for you. What does that mean? We're going to be playing chess so that we don't get wiped out when average companies do.
Yeah.
We're going to be playing business chess so that we set the tone for other businesses to follow the best we can. We're playing chess.
Yeah, industry leading. So
you can earn money for your family and not have to spend family money to build a business. We bootstrap Scentsy, and we have a system that allows you to bootstrap a business without taking money away from your family to do so. And so that's our commitment to you. Okay. We're going to continue to do that.
Okay, a few more things, or no? We're done?
I'd like to just quickly address the fact that the entire call, Orville's face was just half cut off. Like, they couldn't just, everybody was like, turn the phone so you're vertical, and then also fix it so it's not mirrored. And they just were ignoring everything. All right, guys. So here's the thing. Since I'm late to the party, I'm sure you've already seen all of the products and the product walkthroughs. Given the length of this video already, we're just gonna skip that part because I think we've all had enough. And COVID is COVIDing right now. I'm gonna go lay down right after we do our palette cleanser. TikTok, it's your bullshit.
Bing bop boom bop bing bop bam. The type of shit I'm on you wouldn't understand.
I am a big Kendrick Lamar fan. That is me. I walk into the room doing that. Like, here I am. Anyway, thanks for hanging out with me while I talk a bunch of shit. It probably wasn't as great this time because COVID. And I apologize. Hopefully next video I will be feeling much better, and I will see you in that one.
Someplace I could hide away. I feel like blessing my ride today. I feel like